Hey guys, it was just in my last video when I reviewed the slick wrap skin for the Sony Xperia Z3, and already today I'm going to review the Dbrand skin. But this time not just for the Z3, but also for the MacBook Pro 13 Retina, which I will cover later in the video though. But let's get to the Dbrand skin for the Sony Xperia Z3 first. You get a skin for the front and back, but no skins for the sides and no microfiber cloth unlike you did with slick wraps. This can be a big deal for you or not, it's entirely up to you. The missing microfiber cloth shouldn't be the issue, but the skins for the sides very well could be. Some people could prefer the entire device to be covered to give it a more uniform look. People like I though won't mind it, since I prefer the sides to be naked anyways. That's it so far for the content, but what about the installation and qualities of the skin? Let's start with the installation. For me it seems like Dbrand provides you with a smaller margin for errors. This means the skin gets ever so slightly closer to the edges, so you'll have to be extra careful here, at least if your OCD kicks in as mine does when not being applied perfectly. It is really recommended to follow their installation for the quickest and easiest installation, but since the Z3 is flat on both sides, it is quite straightforward and can be done very quickly. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about the qualities. Starting with the fit, like mentioned before, they get closer to the edge. This kinda looks more stock in my opinion, but it does make a big difference after all. It's nice to see though the level of precision they try to achieve here. Everything sits where it has to, just right. The next thing to talk about is the material. Compared to the slick wraps it feels more dry to the hand, but this comes with one huge benefit in my opinion: superior grip. Because as it is right now, it's very grippy, not just with normal moist hands, but also with slightly drier hands like I tend to have, so this makes a huge difference for me. Slick wraps tended to pick up more finger oil. For some reason though, Dbrand seems to make a better job in rejecting it. But if there's one thing I always tended to complain about on any of these skins, no matter which brand they were made by, it's the rough edges. And I must admit, to my surprise, I'm very relieved by what I see, or should I say feel, or to be even more precise, not feel here. Because what I'm trying to say, once properly filed down with your nails, the skin almost can't be noticed as an additional layer anymore. For some reason this didn't work as well with slick wraps, like it also didn't work with Dbrand, for example on the Nexus 5. But this time, I guess also thanks to the flat back of the Z3 and some maybe ever so slightly softer skin, I was able to file it down just enough, making it feel like a nice transition from skin to phone. This makes me happy, very happy. In overall, this means the Z3, depending on which skin you choose, doesn't just look better, but finally also manages not to change the feel in hand of the phone in a negative way. And not just that, thanks to the added superior grip, it even accomplishes to keep the overall amazing feel in hand intact and maybe even take it a small step further. So I still stand to what I said in my slick wraps review. The slick wraps can definitely be recommended, and in the case of the ebony skin compared to this mahogany skin, I have to admit the slick wraps look a little bit better, but of course that's a thing of personal preference anyways. But if you ask me if I had to choose, I'd personally go with the Dbrands this time, for the previous mentioned reasons: better grip and being less perceptible. That's it so far for the Z3 skin review. Now I'm quickly gonna cover the skin for the MacBook Pro 13 Retina as well. All I said about the skin for the Z3 stands true here as well, with the emphasis of having to be extra careful with the alignment here because you practically have no margin for errors here this time. On a bigger surface, any type of imperfect alignment will be visible, and no matter how hard I tried, I didn't manage to get the back applied properly, at least not as good as I wished for. It's only the back though, which I don't see often anyways, so it doesn't really bug me that much, but I would have liked to see slightly bigger cutouts for the screws and plastic feet, so it wouldn't be as obvious that it doesn't fit perfectly. Just keep in mind to be extremely patient and rather try it once too often than once too little. The top went way easier and I managed to apply it, let's say 98% perfectly, and this makes me happy enough. Same as with the Z3 skin, you get additional grip, not that it really matters here in this case, but what is more important, I think, it's not just the better looks, but also the added scratch protection you now have at the bottom and the top. There's also a skin for the touchpad, but I decided not to use that to keep the cleaner looks of the keyboard part of the MacBook Pro intact. To wrap it all up, I'm very pleased with both skins, especially the one with the Z3, since it finally gives me exactly what I expected from a skin like this. In the case of the MacBook Pro, I don't think it makes such a big difference which brand you choose, since it's more for the looks and scratch protection here, which pretty much all of them should provide well enough. But if you want to stick with one brand for all your skins, there's definitely nothing wrong with ordering all at Dbrand. This was it for my Dbrand review. Please don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll be back.